Today we'll talk about Rabindranath Tagore's Gitanjali and its critical appreciation and the key features of his poetry. Rabindranath Tagore's Gitanjali depicts the spiritual voyage of the poet towards the Supreme Being. It is a collection of his devotional songs in which Tagore offers his prayer to God. But the religious fervor of these songs never mars the poetic beauty. Instead, what makes them appealing to the readers is its profoundness expressed with simplicity, optimism, and spiritual affirmation, richness and variety, humanization of divine, use of domestic image, symbols, and mythopoeic elements. One of the most significant aspects of Tagore's poetry is that profound thoughts are always presented with great simplicity and clarity. For example, the relationship between the Supreme Being and the human being is simply described with the metaphor of the flute of reed. The eternal divine singer breathes through it melodies eternally new. The poet says, "This little flute of reed thou hast carried over hills and dales, and hast breathed through it melodies eternally new." Again, the idea that material wealth is a barrier before spiritual progress is beautifully expressed in song number 8. Here, the poet gives the example of a child clothed in a highly ornate dress that prevents him from taking full pleasure in his play. In the same way, material wealth becomes burden for a man journeying towards a spiritual realm. The poet says, "The child who is decked with princess robes loses pleasure in play. It is of no gain if it keeps one shut off from the healthful dust of the earth, if it robs one of the right of entrance to the great fair of common human life." These lines are from song number 8. In the modern days of nihilism and despair, the poems of Gitanjali offer a kind of faith and optimism for human beings. This optimism has its root in the belief in an all-pervading, omnipotent soul or spirit. Man can get rid of all kind of despair and suffering if he sacrifices himself to God. God will then carry his burden of life. The poet says in song number 9, "Leave all thy burden on his hands, who can bear all, and never look behind, I regret." Thus, there is also a humanization of the divine, which is quite a significant aspect of Tagore's poetry. In his poetry, God is presented as existing among the simple, poor, and humble people. So, to ignore them is like ignoring God. In song number 10, Tagore says, "Here is thy footstool and their rest. Thy feet where live the poorest and lowliest and lost." Sometimes God is presented as a profound singer whose songs engross the poet as he says, "I know not how thou singest, my master. I ever listen in silent amazement." The poems are characterized by immense variety of richness. Even a single theme is treated in a variety of ways. The relationship between God and man is treated in various ways. Sometimes he is father and man is son, and some other times he is mother and man is the infant. If he is the lover, man is his beloved. He is musician and man is the flute. Tagore also gives a vivid and picturesque images and symbols in his poetry, which are drawn from everyday life as well as from age-old myths. Several symbols like light, boat, cloud, pitcher, flute, palaces, flowers, river, sky keep on recurring in his songs. These natural objects are used to convey deeper spiritual truth. For example, in song number 1, human existence is compared to a flute through which the God creates new melody. This little flute of a reed thou hast carried over hills and dales and hast breathed through eternally new. Again in song number 6, the frail human body is compared to a flower which withers away quickly. That's why the poet makes his plea to God to pluck the flower quickly with his own hand lest it droop and drop into the dust. Pluck this little flower and take it, delay not. I fear lest it droop and drop into the dust. Ornaments and fine dresses are a symbol of human ego that impedes man's spiritual progress. In song number 7, the poet says that his poetry has shunned ornamentation so that there might be no bar between him and him. Him here means the God. She has no pride of dress and decoration. Ornaments would mar our union. They would come between thee and me. Their jingling would drown thy whisper. These lines are from song number 7. Tagore presents his poetry with quite simple and effective measure. The simplicity and the effectiveness of diction in Gitanjali are beyond question. We can hardly point out a single uncommon or grandiose word or expression in the entire collection, but the simplicity of diction cannot hide the spontaneity and felicity of expression. A single and simple word is so brilliantly used as to make it profoundly significant and suggestive. For example, Tagore expresses brilliantly when he says, "Away from the sight of thy face, my heart's no rest nor respite, and my work becomes endless toil in a shoreless sea of toil." Song number 5. Tagore takes utmost liberty in using free verse in the poems of Gitanjali. Rhythm and melody produced by free verse is not bound by the regular metrical feet. Instead, the rhythm of free verse is determined by the requirement of thought and emotion. It is an enchantable prose, as Ezra Pound has called, the rhythm of which is subtle underflow. The subtle underflow of Tagore's poetic prose is, according to Thomson, an impeccable metrical achievement. A beautiful example of melody produced by free verses from Book 5 or Song number 5. Today the summer has come at my window, with its sights and murmurs, and the bees are playing their minstrelsy at the court of the flowering grove. Tagore often uses words from Indian languages which add a new dimension to his poetry. The names of Indian birds, trees, and flowers help him to create an Indian environment and ambience. Thus, his poetry becomes essentially Indian. So, we can say that Tagore's poetry is pure, beautiful, and profound, and it has reached a sublime height which cannot be overlooked by us. His words are sentimental, and they touch your heart because of its authenticity. At his best, Tagore remains poet with delicate sensibility, with a deeply Indian spirit. Thank you.